Welcome back, everyone, to another Coach Blaker's video. This is going to be a dev blog about YUUMI. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Coach Blaker. I've been professionally coaching for 10 years, and I've played League of Legends for longer. If you guys enjoy me doing dev blogs, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you're notified for the next dev blog, and also hit that like button so that I know you like it. Today we're going to be looking at YUUMI's rework. This is going to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, so the YUUMI's rework is going to be a little bit strange, and the reason why I say this is because this is a type of champion that's very unique. If you think about a champ like Volibear or Udyr that got reworked, Volibear has no throw, but he still feels like Volibear. Udyr has no stance changing abilities in terms of like getting things out of changing your stance, like his passive, but again, he still feels like Udyr. But YUUMI is so unique that even if you take the smallest thing away from her, she's going to not feel like YUUMI. And I know that YUUMI community is dedicated. I think YUUMI is one of those champions that enable a lot of players that just aren't that great mechanically to play more with their macro than their actual micro. A lot of people think YUUMI is very easy to play and she doesn't do anything and blah, blah, blah. Those are the people that never played with a really good YUUMI because it's real. But I definitely think they need to take a step in the right direction before they try to make this change. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna read this, and I hope they do her a good job because I like the champion. I think she's cool, but I do definitely think that she needs to have more agency than just kind of relying on other people to make her more of a fun champion. Since YUUMI's release in 2019, she's simultaneously become one of the most popular champions and one of the most contentious. YUUMI is a special champion that allows new players to not only experience League of Legends quickly, but also to learn the game side by side with their friends. Yes, that's exactly what I was just saying. While YUUMI has succeeded at those initial goals, she's also been tough to balance. She's also been a tough balance problem at all levels of play despite numerous changes and updates. We're here today to shed some light on the design team's thought on our magical cat friend, as well as provide some insight on the YUUMI rework. I do think, like I said, it's really cool. She has a cool design. Anyone who acts like that is just, players just need to get off their high horse. This is a champion that is designed to make it a little bit easier on the player to be able to play the game at a high pace without actually really having to learn all of that gameplay. But again, you still have to have good macro, like the period. Just like every other champion that doesn't really do much, you need to have that macro to counterbalance it. The cat attached to the elephant in the room. What? Unlike every other champion in League of Legends, YUUMI has a unique mechanic that allows her to attach to her allies and remain untargetable for an indefinite duration. I do agree. And one thing I was thinking about with that, I was thinking that what they could do is have her on a timer until she gets popped off. And I know that would suck, but I mean, have it on a timer to where she get popped off and she has to remount with no cost of any mana or no cost of time, or she has to swap to reset the duration. And that way it's ensuring that she will get popped off eventually. And if she's not playing it right, where she's refreshing her timer throughout the entire game, it's gonna get she's gonna end up getting popped off at the wrong moment. I think that's weird, but I do think that'd be a good direction, at least to start. I'm just saying. While this unique mechanic has made her more approachable for a large number of players and helped them fall in love with YUUMI, it also created some obstacles. The combination of YUUMI's enchanter level defenses, hyperscaling identity, access to powerful engage tools, and untargetability create the perfect storm for frustrating gameplay with little to no means of counterplay. True. Enchanters as a class are often kept in check by their spell ranges and low durability, which limit how effective they can protect and support melee champions. For example, a fighter or assassin diving in the backline needs to do so without the help of Lulu's shield or Soraka heal. Wait, what? For example, a fighter or assassin diving in the backline needs to do so without the help of a Lulu's shield or Soraka heal, and are often equipped with abilities and items to help them out. YUUMI circumvents a lot of this, as she's free to jump to whichever champion is strongest, regardless of what happened in the early game. That sounds like an in a perfect world scenario, because there's a lot of assassins or fighters that just can't kill supports. So I've been that Kane that can't one-shot a Soraka or a Lulu or a Nami. I don't know. I think the fact that YUUMI's so squishy, it makes it so if she's off, she's dead. Whereas the other supports is they have the tools and abilities to either solo people or to disengage and just run away. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard thing that's a perfect world type of scenario there in my opinion. Since her release, we've made numerous small changes to maintain Yumi's core of fantasy while limiting her presence in pro play. Here we go at pro play. There's like a small margin of people that play pro, and then there's like a big margin of people that don't play pro. Why do we always try to focus on pro? That's weird. A few more balance changes and a durability update later, Yumi still hasn't found a stable place in solo queue. Yeah, and has remained one of the premier champions in the last 2 world championships. As a result, we think it's time to take a larger swing at changes to hopefully land Yumi in a better long-term spot where she's better for her players, less prevalent in organized play, and easier to balance. I definitely agree, and that's the thing. It's like Yumi in solo queue, like in team settings, you know what to do, you know who to be on, you know how to actually play the fights. But in solo queue, it doesn't work that way, and a lot of the times, as I said, those are the bad Yumis. Good Yumis know how to play solo queue properly, the solo queue style of Yumi properly, and it's not about sitting on the OP champion and just sitting on them and being with them the whole time. That's not how it works. There's a lot more to Yumi if you want to carry your games. And when Yumi first came out, I've coached a lot of Yumi players. Speaking of which, if you guys want coaching, coachbucket.com is where you want to go. The holiday discount is going to be over in a couple of days, so again, make sure you hit that discount up, $5 off of every service on my site, and it is reusable. So make sure you do that before it's gone. Don't be asking for the code later. Make sure you use it. The code is holiday. Just saying. But within coaching, a lot of those Yumi players, there's a lot of them that didn't really understand how to play it. And there's a video on my YouTube that is called "How to Play Yumi the Right Way," and that's really just pretty much be explaining like how you're supposed to do it. Now within that game, there's a lot of aggressive plays that I made that worked, and then we got fed, and then we're good to go. But that's how support is supposed to be. Support is supposed to set the player up for success, and a good Yumi player knows how to do that. A bad Yumi player has the player set themselves up for success, and that's why a lot of Yumis tend to not win. I'm pretty sure her win rate is horrible right now. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. In short, we're not satisfied with Yumi's current state and are making progress on a rework for her aimed at reducing some of the things that make her frustrating to play against or retaining the core gameplay pattern her players have come to love. Yeah, like I said, I think just kind of being a little bit more punishing on the like, oh, you popped off. Like you have to reset your timer or you have to, swap to someone else. Like something like that to punish the fact that she's not paying attention or she's not being a good Yumi player. It doesn't really have to do anything where we have to change anything drastically, but just make it so that the player that's playing Yumi does have to pay more attention to what's going on with that champion. As an example, again, Udyr. I just use Udyr a lot because it's so simple. But he has to manage and maintain his stances in order to be effective. Now, I don't think Yumi should be on that level of maintaining, but I do think that there should be a specific like mechanic in play, so she has to pay more attention and she has to really start maneuvering a lot more to do anything, because I do think that Yumi right now makes a lot of players not that great at Yumi, and then it just feels like a hindrance having her on your team when it shouldn't feel like that. But the only reason why it feels like that is because the players don't understand how to play her properly, because they assume, especially when other people have recommended, oh, play Yumi, she doesn't do anything. Oh, do that, she doesn't do anything. Oh, she's so easy, do it, play her, she doesn't do anything. If you want to learn support, play her. And that already sets people up to start just only sitting on people and healing, and then thinking that the champ doesn't do anything. When if you see an actual good player play Yumi, especially in solo queue, that's not how that works. So I definitely think that we need to do something about it. We also want to address what we've identified as a few of the primary reasons for her high ban rate and pro dominance. I think a lot of Yumi's ban rate has to do with just the fact that she's annoying, or the fact that you don't want her on her team, at least in solo queue. I'm not going to say that I think she's OP or anything like that. It's just the person that she's on is an issue already. So, like, she's buffing him to make him more of an issue, and so it's usually people ban it. It's not really about the Yumi themselves, the player, or the champ. Losing lane to Yumi often feels like losing the game due to her strong scaling. I think in high elo, yeah, but low elo, I don't think it really matters. Yumi's power isn't tied to her own success, so putting Yumi behind in lane doesn't feel impactful since she can switch partners easily. I don't see that either. I feel like if Yumi's behind, she's garbage. Ah? Laning as in 80, maybe that's a high elo thing. Because I swear, like low elo players that play Yumi, and I'm speaking about like Diamond below, people tend to just like do nothing as Yumi when she's behind. It's like she's there, but it's not really a problem if you're already like fed. I don't know. Maybe that is an issue. Maybe she doesn't lose hard. Maybe they're just talking about if she like loses lane, but not hard. But if they're like inting, well, that champ's useless. Planning as an ADC with Yumi isn't fun due to her weak early game in solo queue or in solo play and tendency to quickly attach to someone else. I do agree. It feels like it's a 1v2 unless the Yumi player, again, is good. And once again, we don't have a lot of good Yumi players. There's a very small few. So when you get a good one and they're actually taking control of the lane, it feels great. It is a 2v2. But when you got that one that just doesn't do anything, it feels horrible. Pro play, Yumi lacks exploitability or exploitable counterplay windows relative to her strong defense and engaged skill. Yeah, the thing with the pro play, everything, I think it's broken if it's done properly. So I think pro play Yumi definitely needs to be taken a look at in terms of making counterplay a thing. But in solo queue, it's a little bit harder because again, a lot of the time it's not really Yumi; it's what she's attached to. And if she's behind, again, I don't really think she's an issue. She's just annoying, but it doesn't mean like she's game breaking. And I think, like again, I think our win rate says it all for solo queue at least. Staying true to Yumi, we believe that Yumi has a key spot on the League of Legends or on the league roster when she's positioned as a champion like Garen, Annie, and Sona, who are designed to help introduce players to the rift. I do not think Sona is an easy champion. A lot of Sonas are horrible. I hate Sona. Anybody that ever watched my streams, watched my videos, played with me, whatever, I hate Sona. It's horrible. You have to be really good for that champ to work, and nobody is. And so, like, I really hate Sona players unless you're like an actual one trick. I don't think she's easy at all. I mean, I guess she is easy, but I mean, she's hard to play right. I'm sorry, that was a tangent. These champions play a vital role helping players learn League of Legends and have a low barrier to entry. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Sona is a low barrier to entry, but she's just hard to play right. On the other hand, these types of champions also have lower skill ceilings and get weaker in optimized pro play. Or weaker in optimized and pro play. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why Sona is so bad. I can see that. While we do think there's a sizable base that would love an intense champion focus on weaving between healing and shielding all four teammates, we believe that such a complex playstyle combined with Yumi's frequent untargetability has been one of the sources of her many frustrations. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not really about her managing her, it's about her managing, like she doesn't have to, you know? They should make it so she has to do it. Otherwise, she's punished. That makes sense? Right now, it's like, I don't really need to do anything. I'll just sit on you, you're fed, and then that's that. But if you give her a meaning to like have to swap to other people, or give her a meaning to have to get off, like give her something to just get her off of you, just for even a split second is enough to kill her, especially in team fights, if she's not balancing that timer or whatever they plan to do. So I definitely think that's something that they need to think about. Unattaching gives enemies the opportunity to interact with Yumi, but using it as her core counterplay mechanics skewed her towards higher MMR players. The end result was a player style that most Yumi players didn't really want to engage with. Meanwhile, pro and elite players were eager to take these mechanics and maximize Yumi's potential and hide her weakness. In high skill play, Yumi players have learned to optimize on attaching to trade their own health to accompany trades, combined with frequent unattached to trigger their shields off cooldown. Yumi lanes simply had more health to trade versus enemies that were hyper aggressive opponents like Draven and Lucian struggled against. Oh, wait, what? Versus enemies so that even hyper aggressive opponents like Draven and Lucian struggled against the cat, especially with the help of additional summer spells Yumi's bring. Similarly, when paired with high mobile partners and good communication, Yumi's Q and R become highly consistent engaged tools, a power that few to no other enchanters possess. This whole paragraph right here sums up a good Yumi player. Boom! So anyone who's ever said, Yumi's suck, they don't do anything, that champ's stupid, why did they design it, blah, 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 blah. Those are bad Yumis, dude. If you ever play with a good one, it's phenomenal. And this right here, and this isn't even everything, but this right here sums up a good Yumi player, and this is why she is strong. The fact that people don't actually know what they're doing, whose fault is that? That ain't Riot's fault. But again, this is something that, you know, is an issue because a lot of Yumi players in solo queue do not do this. And that's why she's not really that great. Looking forward, With the above in mind, we want to rework Yumi to be an easy-to-learn enchanter that's all about protecting and enchanting her allies. This means greater emphasis on how Yumi can aid her allies earlier in the game by trading her damage and crowd control for more early power and defense. Ooh, I don't like the way that sounds. We think Yumi staying attached for long periods of time is essential for her to serve her current players as well as learning the game. However, since targetability and fragility are core weaknesses of most enchanters, this work also requires emphasizing other forms of counterplay for Yumi. These could be making Yumi's success tied to winning lane, making her skills easier to dodge, and making her less powerful on highly mobile characters. While we're still in the early stages of Yumi's rework, you can expect to see a bit more from us. I'm sorry, I'm like thinking while reading, and I'm not liking what I'm reading, so that's why I'm slowing it down. So let me just finish, and then I'll get my thoughts. As we're making worth sharing, we want this rework to land our magical cat in a more stable place and maintain her core gameplay fantasy for her players. Thanks for playing with us, and see you in the Rift. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is one of those things where they're on thin ice, boy. I feel like they're trying to the thing. Jesus, right? Please don't screw this champion. So I feel like there's some issues. Okay, so they strictly said themselves that they are going to make it so that they can tie the player base of like, I do like to sit on people. I do like to just like, I'm not going to say do nothing. Those are just bad Yumi players. But you know, the ones that just like to chill. They like to sit on people that like to chill. Maybe they'll go to this. Yeah, maybe they'll go to that guy. You know, I like to play a more chilled Yumi, right? There's those players. But then there's the players that we described in that paragraph where it's like, dude, I'm bouncing out left and right. I'm trading my abilities. I'm off what you want. I'm bopping, blocking. I'm doing all this. I'm healing. There's that. And the way that it makes it seem is that they're trying to combine the two while making it simple. And so I feel like if you force her in any of those directions, you're going to screw the other side. They need to keep it the same. And I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know what they're going to do. This is just the first portion, and I trust Riot. Because usually when Riot does things, they do try to do it the best of their ability. They learn from their mistakes a lot of the times. But boy, the way that I'm reading these things, it does not sound like she is going to be the way she is now. She's going to be one of those reworks where it's like, people don't like it, and oof, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm usually very positive about what Riot does, but what I'm reading right now, it definitely leans more towards, I think they might actually end up ruining Yumi and have to revert, or they're gonna learn and change her again. But again, this is just the early stages of what I'm reading. They haven't released everything, so I'm not gonna count them out yet. I just feel like the way that they're going right now, they didn't really think it's like a U-turn or maybe like a detour, because you can't combine casual with serious. It's just not happening. You need to make it so that they can choose which one they want. That's different. But we're talking about champs like Azir. Think about Azir. There is no casual, right? This dude is, if you play this champ, you are about to, you gotta go. If you try to turn that champ to casual, it's gonna be a bad day. And so when they're doing that with Yumi, it's like you have the choice to choose which one you want to play. And with the more you the better you get at the champ, you can then go towards into that intense. But if you're trying to say, okay, well, we want these guys and these guys to be happy, that's the champ we're gonna make, that seems like it's gonna fail. And so I really hope that they think about what they're doing, because again, she is a very unique champion, and although what their goal was, they wanted a champ, and they said it. They said they wanted a champ that was focused on weaving between healing and shielding all four teammates. We believe that such a complex style combined with Yumi's frequent untargetability, you know, has been one of the sources of her many frustrations. Again, like, the good Yumi players, they can't do that. They have to choose which one they want to go to. They have to choose the timing. And so, and even if you're not a good player and you're just getting used to the game, period, you don't want to do that. And so if you make her have to do that, that's rough. And I did say there's going to be a mechanic. I think that would be pretty cool if it pops you off, because, you know, oh, you've been on me for too long. Careful. Like the screen maybe turns red or something like that. You know, something happens where it's like, you got to get off and then pounce back on. And so, you know, they just make you get in the habit of just pouncing off, pouncing on, pouncing off, pouncing on. You know, give you in that little mood to get in. That's cool. But if you're forcing the players to actually play properly, what they were saying was like minimizing her CC. So you're taking away her CC, making her skill shots easier to dodge. What is that supposed to mean? That means you're making it hard for me to use it? Like, there's just a lot of questions and a lot less answers. And so I really do hope that they do her justice, because if they screw this champion up, there's a lot of players that play this champion, and they're going to be very, very sad that the champion, that there's no other champ like YUUMI. So it's hard to be like, okay, I'll try this champ. There's just no other champ. It doesn't work. You know, it's different. You could say like Seraphine and Sona, Lilia and Hecarim, Udyr and Udyr is unique. I'm not gonna lie. I guess you can kind of say like Nidalee, Rengar and Kha'Zix. You know, like some of these champions have like pairs, or they even have more that you can just kind of shift onto another one, and it's okay. Sejuani and there's another champ that's kind of like Sejuani, but you see what I'm saying. But there's no other champ like YUUMI. You can't be like, oh, what's another champ that's like YUUMI? There isn't. So if they screw this champ up, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck bad, because there's no other. They have nowhere to run. So I really hope they do her justice, and I'd rather just not see her change if that's what's gonna happen. Because as much as I love the game, I still love the player base. You know, I still want people to be happy. I still want those YUUMI. That's why I always defend YUUMI players, because it's not fair that majority of YUUMI players are bad. There are some really good ones, and that's why I always defend them, because the champ is hard if you're playing it right. Like if you see like in pro play again, like what they were saying. So anyway, that's it. How much did I do? Oof, I did 23 minutes. So who cares? Hope you all watched at the beginning or to the end. Again, make sure you guys are getting that coaching booking done, because the holidays are almost over, and so is that code. And that gives $5 off of everything. Again, it is reusable, so check out my site, coachbucket.com. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, peace. Late. Have a good rest of your day or night. I hope they don't break her, but I hope they make her. I'm sorry, that was bad. Till next time, make sure you subscribe so that way you're notified when they release more, because I'm gonna make an update once it comes. All right, peace. Late. I'm sorry. Have a good rest of your day or night, and thank you guys for doing what? Approaching this like a coach.